Hey yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Well, it's official. The finals are set after a just dominant, beautiful performance by the Heat last night. It's time, and it's a little scary, but I'm ready. Let's do this. So there you have it. Heat versus the Spurs. Of course, Heat are coming off of a hard, tough, fought, scrappy, gritty 7-game series. And the Spurs got a sweep. So I am a little worried. I said it from the beginning. Well, first, let's get to a recap of last night's game. I gotta say my blood pressure was very, 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 very happy that it wasn't another down to the wire, needing some LeBron heroics. After the series how it was, I was pretty happy when LeBron was able to be pulled at 5 minutes left and we got it wrapped up. He ended up with 32 points, 8 rebounds. Dwayne Wade dropped in 21. Ray Allen ended up with 10 points. And honestly, it ended up a 23-point game, but it wasn't even that close. It didn't feel that close any time in the second half. At one point, I think the lead was up to either 28 or 29. Maybe 27. No, I think it was 28. And it was just dominance. And, yeah, the Heat had some great offensive runs, but it really came on defense. And it came on buckling it down and just tightening it up and playing with urgency. And it's like, I've said it so many times before, the Heat truly can flip a switch. But it's so scary when they rely on that switch being flipped. Because what about against the Spurs when maybe they can't quite get to the switch to flip it? You know, it is a little scary. But at the same time, when that switch is flipped and the Heat are playing Heat basketball, nobody's as good as them. Nobody. Nobody is as good as them, period. Probably over the past 5 years. They're just that dominant. They're that good when they are running on all, not even 12 cylinders. They're a W16 Bugatti Veyron engine when they're running on all W16 cylinders. That's just the type of team they are. But the problem is when you have that amount of dominance and that amount of ability and the best player in the world, really, when Wade's playing the way he is, he's probably the second best player on the floor. And you've got that amount of role players. All-stars that don't even make it into the game. Rashard Lewis was a max contract all-star. He doesn't even make it into the game. He's like a human victory cigar. When he makes it in the game, you know you got it wrapped up. And there's this much depth. Look at Ray Allen. And sometimes when you have that much, you just feel like, we can turn it on. We'll come back. We'll come back. And I am a little worried because I have complete confidence in the Heat. I'm saying we got 4 wins to get the King a second ring. But the Spurs were the one team coming out of the West that gave me any pause. And I will admit, it was a decent amount of pause. I don't feel there's any other team in the West, sole exception maybe the Grizzlies to a teeny extent, that could in any way challenge the Heat. Especially when Westbrook's knee went out. I was really hoping there was going to be the Thunder because I felt that it was going to be a complete complete photocopy of last year's finals, except the Thunder might not even won a game, especially not the first one. But the Spurs do pose problems. They are the essence of a team. And as much as I despise the Spurs, and as much as I really despise Greg Popovich, he's a damn good coach. And as much as I despise Manu Ginobili even more, he's a great spark plug. And as much as I despise Tim Duncan even more, he's probably the best power forward in my generation, and quite possibly one of the best power forwards ever. So they pose a lot of problems. They have size. We just saw what Hibbert and David West, in some instances, could do with their size. And we all know that is one part of Miami that has always been lacking, been missing. Especially now that Bosch has turned into more of a perimeter player. It almost seems like the further he gets out on the perimeter on offense, it's like his defense goes out that way too for some reason. So I do admit I am a little worried. I'm really hoping that, I think it's been either 12 or 13 days of rest now for the Spurs. I'm hoping that turned into rust and that the Heat can just jump right in. But I will say, even if they lose game one, they lost game one last year and they took it down. So I know game one's always like a huge pivotal game, but they lost game one last year, got stolen by KD, and they took it down. So we'll see what happens. It ended up being a fun game, because it was a decently tight game in the first half. Then it started getting blown open, which you like to see. There was a little chippiness. Norris Cole and Pendergraft both got ejected for I don't know what. I mean, Pendergraft I could have seen more than Cole, but all Cole did was just stand his ground, and apparently they kicked them both out. Couldn't hear what was said, and I'm pretty sure it was Joey Crawford who kicked him out, and we all know he's got a quick whistle. I might be wrong on that, though. It might have been Ben and Salvatore. I don't remember. But regardless, I was surprised that they kicked him out. Even the stand-in, they go to Steve Jabby for a lot of the calls and stuff, and he even said, I don't know what was that, what that was for. But regardless, great win, great series. That has to be the series of the playoffs, right? Has to be. 7 games with blowouts, with close games, with bad calls, with BS calls. Birdman should not have been out game 6, I'm just saying. And what's better in sports than game 7s? I don't really think there is anything better in sports than a game 7, right? No matter the sport, a game 7 is as good as it gets. And it's when the men show up, and what can you say? The men showed up. So, shout out to Miami. Ready to go in the finals. Let's make it back to back, baby. Still got 5 rings to go to get to that not 6, not 7 list. So we got to get this one. Spurs are going to be tough. I respect the Spurs because they are tough, but I fucking hate them. Hate them. I hate the Spurs. The Spurs are truly, of any sport, my least favorite team. Of any sport. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer, hockey, tennis, golf, anything. More than any single individual, more than any team, more than any commissioner, more than anything in the history, probably even more than any political figure with, some obviously extreme examples, Hitler, i.e. things of that nature. But when it comes to celebrities, teams, individual athletes, or anything in that realm, the Spurs take the cake as the most hated. So, I will give 2 of these to the Spurs, not the Spurs fans, because, hey, everybody's got a fault. We know what yours is. Just playing. Not really. Kind of. Not really. Not at all. But anyway, hope it's going to be a great series. I'm predicting it's going to go 7 games. And I hate to say that, but I despise the 2-3-2 format. I think that it is the dumbest thing you can do, especially when you play the entire time up until then, going 2-2-1-1-1. And then at the finals, when you should be okay with it taking more time, when you should be okay with extending it out more, you go 2-3-2. And my reason for this is, yes, you still have home court, but when you get to that level in the finals, which is truly, supposedly, the 2 best teams in basketball, the likelihood of the underdog winning one of those first 2 games is substantially higher. And now all of a sudden, home court goes right out the window. And yeah, the favorite will probably win one of those 3 back at the underdog's home. But now all of a sudden they're down 3-2 and they got to win both games back home. For me personally, I don't like it. Go 2-2-1-1-1. Period. Just do that. I know a lot of people hate it. I don't know why it's still in. If somebody in the league office can tell me, I'd appreciate it, because I don't get it. So I do think it's going to go 7 games. I think the Heat will win game 1. I think the Spurs will win game 2. I think the Heat will win game 3. I think the Spurs will win game 4. I think the Heat will win game 5. I think the Spurs will win game 6. I think the Heat will win game 7. One beautiful thing going is that the Heat haven't lost 2 games in a row in like 4.5 months, 5 months. So I do feel pretty good about that. That's why I don't think that they would lose all 3 games in San Antonio. But regardless, it's going to be tough. So Heat need to play how they played last night. Well, it's technically last night. It was only like 4 hours ago, but whatever. No, it was like 8 hours ago. The sun's already up. But regardless, really, really hope it's a good series. Really hope it's some good basketball. Hope LeBron plays great. Hope Dwayne Wade plays great. Hope Chris Bosh can continue to somewhat rebound. And, I mean, not literally rebound because he's gotten like 17 for the entire playoffs, I think. I don't know what happened, but I swear he must have like shrunk a foot in his mind because he doesn't get rebounds anymore. But hopefully he'll bounce back, I guess I could say. And hopefully the role players come up big. I mean, Shane, please, could you hit a 3-pointer at some point? Ray, keep doing what you're doing. Norris and Mario, you both are going to have to be big. So Rio, just like last season, you got to be big. Norris, do your thing. Mike Miller, need some threes off the bench. Birdman. Just play how you've been playing. Grind it out. Be gritty. Be grimy. Get up in their face. Take those technicals. Don't back down and bring that energy. That's what we need from you. And honestly, everybody else, just fit in where you fit in. Oh, and Joel Anthony, do not take any more offensive shots. I don't care if it is just you under the basket and there is nobody around you. Wait for LeBron to come down and give him the assist. You are not allowed to shoot. Point blank, period. Not allowed. Okay? Good. So there you have it. My finals preview for the NBA 2012-2013 season. Miami Heat against the, I almost said the Seattle Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs. It's going to be big. So, I don't know what the opening line is. I'll have to check. Obviously, the Heat are favored, even after having to go through 7, but I don't know what the line is, so I'll have to check. But there you have it. As always, thank you guys for checking out my videos. I am Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Big LeBron fan, so you know I'm going for the Heat. Get the king, his 2nd ring. Let's do it. As always, you can check out all my videos on MatthewMaley.com. Check out the video blog tab for all my current videos. Check out my previous video blogs to see everything since 2010. Got almost 400-something videos online, so check them out. You can also check me out on YouTube. Post everything up there, so just search for Matthew Maley Poker or MatthewMaley.com. You can check me out on Facebook. I post all my videos here as well. So check me out. Again, search for Matthew Maley Poker. Also follow me on Twitter at Matthew Maley. As you guys know, only time I'm really on Twitter is when I'm at the poker table or when I'm watching games. So if it's during a game, check me out on there. And finally, check your boy out on Instagram. I'm at Matthew Maley Poker. Always putting up my new flicks. So check me out there, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Heat gang!